We hope that they will give priority to these things, the welfare of our troops. So let's move straight to our next conversation. It is a cash crunch time in Nigeria, and authorities are mapping out strategies to avoid escalation, especially with the approaching yield time. In this regard, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has restricted point of sales POS agents to a daily transaction limit of 1.2 million naira. The CBN also introduced a daily transaction limit of 100,000 naira per customer for cash-out transactions conducted by the agents. This implies that customers can only withdraw 100,000 naira daily from POS agents. In a circular on cash-out limits for agent banking transactions signed by Oladimeji Yisa Taiwo for the Director of the Payment System Management Department at the CBN, agent banking services are now to be demarcated from merchant activities, and agents must apply the approved agent code 6010 for agent banking activities. Okay, BK, POS have become integral in promoting financial inclusion. Yeah. But first of all, what do you make of this new directive from the CBN, and what will it do to these POS operators?
I think it will definitely limit even the scope of their operations. Okay. And certainly in the urban, semi-urban and rural areas, the effect will be felt. Because look, let's face it, these guys are doing the job of banks already. And even in the urban centers, more and more people would rather deal with the POS operators than go to the bank. Because what is the point? You have millions of naira in your bank account. You go there, they tell you they can only give you
10,000. Yes.
In some cases, they will tell you 10. In some cases, they will give you 10. And the POS operator, once you give him your
ATM, you are ready to pay the
he's prepared to give you 100,000 if you want.
So you weigh your options.
So why would you not go to? Yes, you will charge you for that, but you still prefer that than to go into a bank where they will tell you that, okay, we can only give you 20,000. What the CBN wants to do is limit the cash in circulation. But in spite of all those efforts, look at the cash outside the banks.
It's more down.
It's becoming, is getting to that level that we should all be worried. Because more and more people now would rather do business with these guys. People have cash, you keep the cash at home because they don't want to run into a bind and then think they can get the banks to assist them. Maybe there is a health emergency, for example, and you need money quickly, and your bank is telling you it's only 20,000 they can give you. If you found yourself in that situation, nobody will tell you before you run to a POS operator.
Exactly.
So now that people are, even the banks, cannot say they are not working with these POS guys. Because who are the people? Apart from, yes, they say, some of them will say, no, we are collecting money from filling stations, but banks are colluding with them. Banks are selling new notes. If you go to the bank and nobody will give you a new note, who are you to collect new notes from the bank? But
all those money
there are people who sell new notes.
Yes, parties, yes.
Yes, now. There are people who sell new notes. These bank staff are the people who give it to them. True. So what is going on? It's not, we are not saying, leave the POS operators unregulated. They are agent bankers, so they need to be regulated, based on the CBN rules. But they've come to fill a void, and it is not their fault too. I can tell you in Kogi State, I can count the communities where we have banks on my fingertips. And it's the same thing with Zamfara. How many local governments in Zamfara have banks? These are the people that our guys are using. And after the experience of when Emefiele decided to punish
Nigerians.
With the so-called Naira repainting exercise, which some TV analysts sat down and said, we stand by Emefiele, stand by Emefiele. Open your mouth to say you stand by somebody who was oppressing your fellow man. It shows that you've lost conscience.
True.
When that happened, more Nigerians took the decision to not take money to the banks. Because what's the point? People were rioting in front of banks. The people who are deluded, the blind people who are saying they stood by Emefiele, they didn't see those scenes where women, bank staff who are women, were being helped to scale banking walls to escape from angry bank customers. How can people keep their money somewhere and they can't access the money? And people are starving at home. Children can't go to school. Parents can't pay school fees. Ordinary 1,000 to give to your child, put in his hand for him to go to school and even feed while in school. Parents could not do it. Some parents lost their heads inside banking halls. You saw some of those who are tearing their own dresses inside banking hall. So for that reason, some people have refused to put money in the banks. They've refused. If they have cash, they go to POS. POS will collect the cash from them, lodge it. They will use that cash to then transfer business, sell to others. This is where we find ourselves. I've seen this vice president complaining bitterly about this.
Exactly.
The fact that POS operators are even exploiting Nigerians. But what can we do? What can we do? You cannot blame a man who went to a bank and the bank, his bank told him we can't give more than 20,000. He's just a victim of that today.
So you think this directive will sanitize the system?
I know why this directive was taken. I know why they took this decision. But we have to also be careful not to overregulate.
Okay.
Considering the role that these agent bankers are playing, especially in those
rural areas.
Robbers have caused many banks to shut their branches in rural areas. They've forced them. So is this POS that we rely on largely?
Okay, we need to go on this quick break, okay? But when we return, I want to ask for the unbanked, most especially in the rural areas, how will they receive this? What do you think their reaction will be? Do you think they'll receive it well or not?
Well,
we'll return after this break. Don't go anywhere. It's still Journalist Hangout. All right, welcome back to the program. But at this juncture, we are going live to link up with the Christmas Carol service organized by the Lagos State Government at the State House in Marina. Journalist Hangout will continue on other platforms. So, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Babajide Koladu Titoju and Tunde Abaton. So, before we went on that break, I asked you for the unbanked. How will they receive this directive?
Well, it is not surprising in the sense that you said they are unbanked for the fact that they have been used to this system, especially, like you said, during the Emefiele, the last 6 months, when Emefiele reigned like an emperor. They were affected and they reverted back. I could remember the last time Nigeria had this experience was in 1984, when the Buhari regime came to power and they wanted to change money.
Okay, change.
I was a teacher in one of the rural areas in Ogun State there. It was there I discovered that the money people had in their house, you will look at their house like this, you would think they are poor people. They kept money inside the wells that has no water inside them. They now took it to bank. That was when Nigeria knew that not only necessarily people in the rural areas are not poor. But now what happened last year towards 1993 has taught Nigerian lesson that the confidence in the banking system has been removed. So it will take a very long time for that confidence to be restored by this central bank of people to go. I went to the bank around 3:30 p.m. today. I saw a lot of people on the line. The maximum that was collected in my presence was, I went there to transfer. And I have never attempted to collect any cash from bank in the last 6 months. In fact, my wife has become my POS. Because every morning she will come to me with her POS. Do you want to collect money? So there's no point. So the thing, what we are saying is that it will take a very long time for the unbanked to readjust or to be persuaded to start taking their money to the bank. Because those people who transfer business on a daily basis, go to K2, go to Mushin market, go to Duway market, and all these big markets in cities. They touch money on a daily basis. So they cannot afford to keep their money within the banking system that is not reliable. So it has also taught them something, how to operate the Android. A lot of people now know how to operate.
Do you think this, this directive or this thing would actually improve the cashless policy?
Well, it's a two-way thing. In the first instance, people will learn how to transfer money on that thing.
Okay.
But for the illiterate, you will now have to carry their confidence on the POS people. They will still give them money. For those who are, you will still give POS. It will take a very long time for you. Okay, what is the essence? Let me say, you have 10,000 to collect from the bank. You now have to spend about 2,000 naira to go to your bank to collect that money. And somebody is nearby you who will take 200 naira commission. Okay. Which one do you prefer? Your time or your money? You are going to spend time. You are going to spend money going to the bank to collect money. And when you get to the bank, you join a queue. I have not seen a queue in banks in the last 3 months. We are not saying
there's no queue again.
There's no queue again, but naturally there must be money in the banking system. But what I'm surprised is that the banks themselves, they are direct beneficiaries of the POS operators. Because if you go to a POS now, you transact money. The bank will take their own commission. The POS operator too will take money. If you go to a retailer selling medicine, you want to transfer 1,000 naira, he will tell you that, please, so you have to add 25 naira on it, on that your transfer, which means that 25 naira is for him and for the bank. So the banks too are making money from that particular. So what I think is that they need to restore the confidence of Nigerians to bring them up. Because I know the money
to the bank
in circulation
is more than the banking
system. 3
system.
times or 5 times more than the one in the bank. And the bank still needs money to do the daily activities.
Okay, BK, still talking about the cashless policy, looking at issues of technical issues, transacting online. In your opinion, do you think Nigeria is ready to go completely cashless?
No, you can't. You can't. Even in India, India is far more advanced technologically than us. India is like the global capital for information technology. In the rural areas, a lot of people still transfer business in cash in India. And that's why we said, look, you cannot assume that everybody, this thing, it has to be a gradual process.
Gradual, okay.
You cannot get everybody to embrace cashless policy wholesale. It's not going to happen. The people in the rural areas who are farmers, a lot of them are illiterate. You can't even talk to them about cashless policy. Many people in northern Nigeria, for example, they don't use the banks. They have no need for the banks. One, for religious reasons. And that's why some of the banks, like the Islamic banks, some of them are embracing Islamic banks. But the rate of embrace is not even substantial. It's not encouraging. It has to be. More people need to even embrace those Islamic banks where interest is not paid on your money and all that. People want to do business, they put their cash on the ground. Another person comes, he wants to transact business with them, the cash is there, they do it. I've seen where in Kano, in Singa Market, that Singa Market is an international textile market that people come all the way from Central African Republic to do business there. They hired people count money for them. They hire able-bodied men, about 10. All they do throughout the day is count money. I'm telling you, ask anybody.
What a job.
All they do is just count money. In Kano, Singa Market, Kantenkori. All they do is just count money. I had an uncle who was also into retailing of cosmetics and all that. So we were always going there around 1992. The old man will just sit there. They're just counting money. All they are doing is counting money. So that somebody who needs the money, they're going to do business somewhere else. You just, give him, how much are you counted there? Okay, I've counted 5 million. Okay, give it to this person. They are right there doing business on the go. They have no need for the banks. They don't go to the banks. All their business for the day starts and ends there. They are counting. They are sweating, counting money. You know, I would never be a place like Kano. Honestly. Okay. That's why the Kano man is happy to say Kano Tadabo. Kodamekazo, Amfika, that despite how big you think you are, where are you coming from? We are bigger than you. That is the way Kano people see themselves. Whatever it is that you see that is monstrous, when you come to Kano, you see that they play.
You have to be humble. But now, looking at this CBN restriction, do you think it can be sustained? Not just a flash in the pan?
Well, the problem is that, like I read 2 days ago, the EFCC paraded about 2 men for hawking.
I think I'm worried about something.
But
it's 100,000.
Yes.
For example, if we are building a house in the village, the POS people, they are they are almost indispensable. The money that you pay to the
bricklayers the Amazon
is from them that you collect. Now, once you've restricted them,
200,000.
that means for that day, you cannot, except you have different accounts and all. I don't even know, maybe because the banks are your accounts are connected to BVN.
Yes.
Maybe what they are saying is that you cannot then go to use another ATM to collect. So how will this not affect people? And they can't go to the banks. And it's not in all cases that you just transfer money to people. And sometimes, what of the problems that arise from you say you transfer money?
Exactly.
You want to spend 2,000. Nobody wants you to transfer 2,000.
Give me the cash.
There are times you transfer money for over a week, they've not received it.
They've not received it.
So I think the CBN really needs to do some, public enlightenment.
The problem is not about really outlaws, about enforcement. But they enforce it.
Well, anyway, let's go straight to our next conversation. Tragedy